My name is Connor Langfels. I'm in CIS 110 at the University of Kentucky with Dr. Cooper. This is my public speaking analysis for the UT Commencement speech given by Admiral William H. McRaven. Overview of the steps in my process and what I did to identify areas for improvement. First and foremost, I obviously read through each paragraph in depth, took my time reading it, and kind of painted a picture of what I was trying to say. There were times where I found there was actually my thesis. It did not add up to what I was talking about in my paper. There was a part, the second topic that I talked about in my thesis, I didn't even talk about it in the second paragraph, or the third paragraph, the second body paragraph, third paragraph of the essay. That was obviously poor. I actually talked about that topic in the conclusion. So once again, rereading and kind of understanding what's going on is important. I talked about the audience as well. I think I went too in depth with the audience. I think I could have been a little more vague. I talked about the audience for 4 sentences in one paragraph. Another problem that I found that I need improvement on is the repetitiveness of certain phrases and words. There was a paragraph and a couple sentences where I would say giving speech in one sentence, the speech given in another sentence, in the speech that he gave in the third sentence. So obviously that sounds illiterate and uneducated and sounded pretty poor. So we changed that, and we're looking good on that front. Another thing is including words that are associated with higher education. And what I mean by that is, for example, when I said was said instead of saying was expressed. And obviously there's a difference. There's a difference in the way it comes off. And I feel like using a little more difficult terminology can do nothing but great things for a paper. After reviewing the information on effective organization, language use, and grammar punctuation, and going through the process of improving this paper, what strengths and weaknesses do you see in your written communication? A strength of mine is obviously connecting with the audience. I actually provided my opinion of the quote and of what the speaker was trying to get at to let the audience better understand at my level of how I saw the quote and how I saw the message he was trying to get across. With that came a weakness. I would talk about a quote for a sentence and then give my opinion of that quote for the next 4 or 5 sentences. Obviously, that's unnecessary. I found that giving a 1 to 2 sentence opinion gets the point across, gets what you want to say. Another thing that led to was the size of my paragraphs. My paragraphs took up half a page, if not more. We got that down to about a quarter, if not a third, which is the Guide to Good Writing, what they recommend, which is good. That was obviously a weakness of mine. I never had a problem, and I didn't have a problem in this paper with commas and quotations and periods. I think I did pretty well with that. Just wordy stuff, just nitpicky stuff that I had to go in and change to better get the point across, and let the reader know what I was trying to get at and what the speaker was trying to get at. What are my goals for improvement in my writing, and what is your plan to achieve them? My plan to achieve these goals that I'm about to name for you is obviously continue to write. You can't get better at anything that you do in life if you're not going to practice at it, and that goes with anything that you do. As if it's school, if it's sports, and if it's writing. I believe that you can't get any better at writing if you don't practice it. My goals for improvement in writing are obviously keeping my opinions to a minimum and expressing higher vocabulary that make me seem higher educated. The reader doesn't know what my education is, where I come from, and I believe that if you express vocabulary that they don't know about or sets myself apart from my predecessors, obviously that's gonna set myself apart. But for the most part, I was pretty pleased with this assignment. I think I did a pretty good job for the most part. I enjoyed it. But that's all I have. This was my public speaking analysis for my UT commencement speech by Admiral McRaven. Thank you, and have a good night.